Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a very special live stream coming to you live from Japan, 10 p.m. at night, and it's morning time for you guys in the US of A. So I wanted to have a live stream here with my good buddy Carl from the RNG Gaming. What's up, man?
Good morning, everyone. I usually only get up this early for oil changes on Saturday, so it's unusual for me to be up at this hour.
That's a very a good a peek into your life there. Great insight.
Yeah, I want to get it done and on my way. It's like I already hate doing car maintenance, so this is the only time I do it is on Saturday mornings.
Yes. Oh, I'm gonna take the YouTube window away. All right, so yeah, so we're gonna be talking about the Nintendo Direct that just happened recently, and this is basically the final Direct for the current Nintendo Switch console. And yeah, there was a lot of interesting games that were revealed and showcased, and of course, the big buzz being the Metroid Prime 4 got some more gameplay footage, but alongside that, there's some other like really unique games that I don't think a lot of people are expected to kind of come back from the console graveyard. So we're gonna get into that, and towards the end, we'll probably talk about our predictions with Switch 2 as far as what is the timeline going to look like for these video game releases that'll be coming out for the rest of this year, and maybe what we can expect from the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct that's going to come out next week, which is pretty crazy that we're having a game direct, that just happened, and then the next week after that is a console direct. So that's pretty neat. And without further ado, I just want to say hello to the chat. As always, my loyal supporter here, Your Reb Army. What's up, man? No dinos. Yeah, you missed out on the Dino Crisis stream, which would have been yesterday evening for you guys. My morning, which is like really weird to think about. But yeah, Dino Crisis was a lot of fun. I'm glad that I finally got to play that. It was like 30 years in the making, basically, and I finally got to play that and beat it. Beat it 3 ways till Sunday, or 6 ways till Sunday is how they say it. But looking forward to number two because I heard it's a very different game, so that should be a lot of fun. But Electric Porpoise, always good to see you too as well, man. Thanks for
Hello,
coming on
Ken.
by, man. Of course, David Glenn, one of Pop Culture Mechanics regulars, and he'll come over and hang out with me from time to time. Good to see you too, man. And I'm sure
Good morning, Dave.
we'll see a Pop Culture here in a minute because he's got his Yu-Gi-Oh stream after this stream. So I wish I knew how to raid on YouTube. Otherwise, I send people over there. But besides that, actually, one thing I like to talk about is right now, man. Are you playing any Nintendo games on your Switch? Are you not playing any Nintendo games on your Switch? Just out of curiosity.
I'm kind of right now just waiting for more of that like Switch 2 news. I'm not playing the game on my Switch right now, but Sandra is my wife. I got her that Spy Family video game where you get to play as the daughter Anya to try to
Oh,
have like the best what is it? The best summer, babe? Oh, the best diary. Best diary. She's playing it right now.
that's cool.
And it's a pretty charming little game. You just go around playing as like Anya from Spy Family, doing a bunch of little mini games and stuff like that. I guess for like a licensed anime game, it definitely knows the market it's geared towards. And I'd say that market is more towards women, you know,
Okay.
because I probably wouldn't play that game and enjoy it as much. But for someone like my wife, who's more of a like she loves Spy Family as much as me, but she's more of like a casual gamer, it seems like the best one for her. Um, I've actually been playing more DS and 3DS lately, just because of our little gaming challenge.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that challenge. Oh boy. I July when we do our like halfway point checkup. Oh my goodness, we're gonna have fun discussing that and
Yeah.
the sacrifices that we've made along the way for this challenge.
We got to yell at Neo because he keeps going like, "I have played a co-op game." I'm like, "No, it doesn't count."
Yes, Neil.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Well, so that's cool, man. Hopefully, you can pick up a Switch game here soon to play. As, are you gonna get? I guess we could talk about it more later. But the Switch 2, are you gonna get it launch day? Are you gonna try to get it launch day?
I'm gonna try to get it launch day because there are a bunch of my biggest gripe with the Switch in general is that some of the games frame rates just are sub 30 FPS a lot of times, and like the biggest problem for me is a lot of games that I like to play, they really do need like the 60 FPS.
Yeah.
So like a game like say for example like Famicom Detective Club or something like that does not really bother me as much because it's a visual novel. I don't need it running at 120 FPS, all right? But then there's like games like Bayonetta and Astral Chain and even the new Pokemon games that I still say Scarlet and Violet are really good games, but they run at like 5 frames per second. So
Yeah.
I I want like just 60 FPS for some of those games. Like that's another reason why I haven't really touched like I really haven't been able to get into a lot of the Switch quote unquote mainline bangers. It's because the frame rate inconsistency really does bug me now. And that's just because I used to be okay with 30 FPS, but now when I hit 60 from playing a lot of those older games going from 30 to 60, it's just like I always say this, it's the Danny DeVito meme. It's like I get it, you know?
That's fair, man. I get it. I totally get the whole like 30 frames, 60 frames. It's fair, and I'm in the same boat. We could talk more about it later with Switch 2, but I'm waiting for to see what they'll do with performance because I would like to turn my Switch or Switch 2, I should say, into the JRPG machine, and I'm
Yeah.
hoping that that's what's gonna happen. But yeah, as for me, Switch related games, I'm currently playing Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. I've been playing it since January, like kind of on and off. And that's been a lot of fun to revisit that game. Just like Extra Zero said on your stream, like I'm a third
Hmm.
time purchaser of that game, so like playing it all over again. It's fine. I do. It looks really good on OLED on the OLED screen, I will say. But
Yeah.
it plays like the same as the original game. Uh, Anyways, it's been a lot of fun. Besides that, I've also obviously been playing Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, and that's been a blast. And actually, that game runs really smoothly too. I'm pretty sure it's running at 30, but it's like really smooth 30. Some of the combat sequences, yeah, you could tell that the frame will drop because of like I don't know all the monsters or enemies on screen. But um, besides that, it's doing really well, and that's gonna be a crazy game to see at like 60 FPS if it does get a boost for the Switch 2.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, and then on top of that, my wife's been playing Final Fantasy VII on the Switch, and so that's been fun to watch her play that. And then once I finish with my Game Boy game, my Game Boy Color game, I will be returning to Three Houses on the Switch. So I'll be playing that. So I am playing Fire Emblem Three Houses at the moment. Um, and anyways, I love my Switch. I used to not like the Switch Lite because I thought it was kind of like a dumb console to have. And then when I started doing the like 2 hour or the hour and a half commute for like this internship I had a while ago, I was like, oh my goodness, this is like really nice to play like a full fledged console game on the go. So I ate my own words for that, and but it's cool. It's really neat, and um, I just hope the sticks don't drift because that's gonna be a pain to fix in the future. So, but
Yeah,
mm,
I understand that point too because I worry about that. That's why I mostly play docked
yes,
because I
same, yeah.
got my little pro controller. But I did just pick up last night. I forgot to grab it off my porch, so it's not damaged luckily or it didn't blow away with the wind. Was the Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days collection?
Oh yes, yeah. I would like to buy it, just to own it, cause I want to support that, cause it's really neat that there's like a bunch of Japanese exclusive games that were put onto it, and it came with its own card as well.
Yeah, Harpy's Feather Duster.
Yeah.
Broken card.
And I know our boy Fernando Metal Shred Freak. He got it, and I think he's been streaming it, right? That's what he's been streaming on Twitch. I haven't been able to catch a stream of his in a while. Um,
He streamed a little bit of it. Then he played some XC's Hearthstone anime knockoff game that he's been obsessed with.
okay. Well, that's cool, man. As far as new Switch game for me that's coming out, I don't really have one ready to purchase. Um, I can't think of one because Xenoblade Chronicles was basically the latest. I did buy that Atelier Yumiya game for the Switch, but I really want to wait for Switch 2 before I actually start playing that game. But without further ado, man, let's get into this Nintendo Direct, and we're just gonna go through it basically like game by game and just talk about it, and I know you've got some more details about specific games. Some of them I was pretty surprised to see. especially I'll get into it later for some specific reasons, but I'll we'll see how this goes in this format because I've never really done a format like this on my own. I've been on other people's shows. I've done formats like this, so this would be
This is the easiest form of content creation, man.
yeah, just just going
That's
through
why
a
so many
video.
people do it because it's easy.
I don't know. Something
Yeah,
feels. I don't know. I feel a little dirty doing this. I don't know why. It doesn't feel transformative enough.
you just got to take it slow. Like some people like don't know anything about gaming and they just react, and then there's other people that do know a lot about gaming and it's easier to react. So we'll be fine, buddy.
All right. So yeah, so I'm gonna just thumb through this. So of course, the opening game that the volley that they started with was Dragon Quest One and Two HD remaster,
Yeah.
and I actually before the direct, I posted on Twitter like my predictions, and the only reason why I put this on there is because we had three come out, which is over here on the left, and I figured okay, three's been out for a while now, and they're gonna definitely kind of showcase one and two. And sure enough, they did, and it looks really good. I know nothing about these games honestly, but from a visual perspective, it looks really good for a HD 2D or 2D HD remake. Um, and yeah, so we'll see how well this is probably going to do really well when it comes out. I don't know if it'll do really well to the level of three because I know three is like a crowd favorite in Japan.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious how one and two will do. But I am looking
Well,
forward to picking this up someday as well as number three.
this one for sure is going to do very well. I know a lot of people got hyped about it once. I think it was at the end of the last three trailer where they said we're also working on number one and two at the same time.
Yes.
So I know there was a lot of like hype around that. Another thing too is it looks like they added a new character into I think one.
Yes, I
From
saw
what I've
something
been
online
reading
about
online.
that. Yeah, like a fourth character, and people are like freaking out because it's like very different from the original game.
So you just said the worst words ever. It's different from the original, so
Oh.
everyone's gonna hate it.
Oh no, I just I put that out into the ether. Oops. Yeah, that's another thing you have to watch out is the negativity around stuff like this.
The purists.
Yeah, the purists. You always got
Yes.
to have your purists, both good and bad. But yeah, man. What do you think about this project? About it's basically a project from Square, right? To remaster or excuse me, remake Dragon Quest 1 through 3. Now, do you think they're gonna keep going and do the next ones like 4 and 5?
Well, it started before even Dragon Quest. They started doing this with other games. Obviously, you saw it with Final Fantasy. You saw it with Live Alive, and that's another game that was done up in this Octopath Styler 2.5D art style that they've been doing, and it's been really. I would say it's been mildly successful in terms of probably how much budget they put into these games. Because I don't think they're selling like millions of copies, but I think they've been selling between like 3 and 500K copies for games like in this art style in particular.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not talking. So I feel like it's a good idea, especially because some of these games have been trapped on, outdated hardware that doesn't exist anymore or costs like hundreds of dollars. Some of
Hundreds
them
of
even,
dollars.
yeah, hundreds of dollars. Yes, I was almost said hundreds of thousands. I mean, hundreds of dollars because games that are really expensive in this series are still trapped on either the PS2, PS1, or even the DS. Because
Yes.
if you want a copy of the definitive Dragon Quest game, which is Dragon Quest V, that's trapped on two outdated consoles, and on top of that, too, the prices for the DS version is insane. I think it's somewhere on a bad day, it's like $300.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Now,
So, go on.
I was gonna ask, and I gotta, I can't really look it up right now because my one screen is full screen and the other one's using the OBS. But was number 3 released on PC as well?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, so
I can look it up for you real quick.
in a way, they're kind of trying to keep these like around and accessible for as long as they can compared to like the original games. And I think that's like a pretty good win in the fact that you can play these games without having to pirate, because there's still a lot of people out there that don't really want to pirate. Either they don't know how to or they don't really care to, but they can at least play these games with like a nice like refresh to them. And like you said, a lot of those games, the older ones, are like trapped on these older consoles. Every time I go out retro shopping, I see so many of these Dragon Quest games like on the DS, and also that to a certain extent Final Fantasy as well. But Final Fantasy has now done like the pixel remaster, so you can basically get like the first 6 games in a single bundle. But they're
Yes.
not like, to my knowledge, they're basically like remasters of the DS games to a certain point. Um,
1 second, I gotta yell at my dog.
if if I remember correctly. But anyways, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 and then 3, and hopefully we'll see in the future 4 and 5 are going to get the same treatment. I'm not super familiar. If IJP was here, he can definitely inform us on this. But now the bigger question: do you think that with all this work that they're putting into their like HD 2D engine, that Chrono Trigger will ever get a version of this?
It should. I honestly do agree with that. It should, because even though you can play Chrono Trigger on your uh, PS3 Vita or even your PS1, and even now on Steam, I think that it's just time to bring that more to like everything. You know, I I like I just believe that you should play a game anywhere you want, whenever you want. You know.
Yeah, man. With mobile, not mobile, handheld gaming being as like kind of making a comeback in a way with like the Steam Deck and all these other like the ROG Ally and all these other consoles, and then of course the
Yeah.
Switch. Like, I mean, this is the perfect chance to bring back Chrono Trigger for on the go again, and obviously for consoles. So I don't know if it's just a licensing thing and whatnot, but hopefully we get to see it, and hopefully it can remain as pure as it can be for an original game, or from the original game. But it would be cool to see it in a new light with this like HD 2D engine. So
Yeah, I think these HD 2.5D games have all looked amazing and run and played very well. Like I said, Live Alive was like the first one that I can remember that was like using that engine to bring back an old title, you know?
yeah,
So I have hopes of it. There's like a lot of games. I know they've been bringing out the Soul Frontier, Saga Fortuna,
yeah,
all these other old games. Sony's been, I'm not Sony, Square, sorry, has been doing a good job at least trying to bring back some of their old IP classics to give them a re-release to like more modern platforms. Because they also did this with Chrono Cross,
yeah.
which is kind of like the sequel, quote unquote, to Chrono Trigger. So it feels like it's kind of weird that one's still kind of missing from the repertoire, even though like what it just had like its 30th anniversary or something, right?
Chrono Trigger had its 30th anniversary this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like it's starting to get towards that time where let's do it. Come on.
yeah. Um, man, I'm on like the final chapter for that game, so I'm looking forward to beating it and then going to Chrono Cross afterwards. But it's been a fantastic journey. That is a very well made video game, but also like a JRPG. So, um, well, if you got nothing else to say about it, we'll keep moving along. And the next game we've got here is this interesting game called No Sleep for Kaname Date. And this is like I was watching so I started watching a little bit of Maximilian dude's like reaction to this, and I didn't get a chance to finish it, but his reaction to this was like really funny. He's like the premise is like, also a VTuber is like stuck somewhere, like did anybody go and check their house? Like just he's like being really funny about it. But anyways, this game I believe was a it looks like a 3DS game, and I meant to look this up
No.
before, but
This
um,
is this is a series of games. This is technically the third game in the series.
third game in the series. Um,
Yeah,
what is the?
because
Mm,
it's called the AI Sumerian files.
oh yeah, that's right, right here. Or Somnian Files.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So they pronounce it like Sumerian, and it's like Date is his name.
Oh,
Date.
date, not date. Okay.
Yeah. So what it is like you play as this guy right here, Date, and it's kind of like a best way to say it, a detective story, kind of like a weeboo version of L.A. Noir without all
Okay.
the fun stuff.
Okay.
I've played a little bit of these ones. I played it on I think the first one was on Game Pass, and I played a little bit. I have it on Steam as well, and then I bought them physically for PlayStation. It's okay so far. It's basically just um, I think it's made by the same people who've done Danganronpa, or it's published by the same people who did Danganronpa. I'm not 100% sure. I know, no, it's not Danganronpa. I'm thinking of a different game. Sorry. But yeah, if you're into like those slow paced, more visual, novel esque detective type games, like they're not bad at all. They got an interesting story. Um, I don't have too much opinion on it per se, other than like maybe check it out if you're interested in these. I know if you're a physical collector, VG Plus has them on sale for the PlayStation and the Switch, both one and two. So you can
Nice.
get them right there and get them delivered to you, or just wait for a Steam sale. I know they're both on Steam. I think they're on every platform, including Xbox. So just check them out wherever you can.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I don't like really have any interest in this, but it was an interesting game to announce for the Switch, I guess, towards the end of it. Am I seeing correctly that this game in particular was originally released on PS4 and they're just now bringing it over to the Switch? Is that
No, this one is a new
a
game
new
in the
game?
series.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Yeah, no, the it multi-released on every on PlayStation and Nintendo at the same time.
Word. Yeah. So the next one we got here is kind of like a big one, especially for our mutual friend Smooth the DJ, which is Raidu Remastered. And
Yes.
this one, obviously I knew nothing about this, but as far as like when I went on Twitter and I saw the engagement for this or the excitement, like I looked into it and yeah, it was like a PS2 game. And I don't know, you definitely know more about it than I do, so you could go ahead and take it away. Like, what's up? Why are like people really excited about this?
It's just a really rare game, and it's probably one of the fun versions of a Shin Megami Tensei spinoff out there. Because
Gotcha.
it's got more like detective elements for it. I haven't really played too many of these games because they were very expensive for me to find, and the only ones I found, like I think I paid $200 for one of them because I think both of my copies are still sealed.
Oh, sheesh.
Yeah, so they were on the to-do list. But I know that when people were data mining some Steam achievements, either for Persona 3 Reloaded or for Shin Megami Tensei 5 Revengeance. I couldn't remember which one it was. And they found some achievements for this game actually in those data mines. And from what we've been finding out too is that they've added, you know, characters from I guess like the Shimigamis from those games
Yeah.
into this one a little bit in like a demake form. So maybe that's why the leak happened. But like yeah, this game has been kind of spoiled already. But it was really nice to finally get confirmation,
Yeah.
and it was also really nice to find out that this game will be on everything, so Steam, PlayStation, and Xbox as well as Switch. So like it's Atlas once again continuing to dig through their giant pit of money that they have to bring to modern audiences. And on top of that too, this will make some people mad, but the collector's edition is going to be made by Limited Run as well.
Oh, that's right. I did see that announcement right after the direct. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, I guess that it's par for the course because limited run seems to do a lot of collector's editions for Atlas now.
And
Um.
Sega in general,
Or
yeah.
Sega, yeah. So that makes sense. It was actually funny because when I was watching this, I was watching with my wife the direct, and I was like, man, this game like looks like an Atlas game. Like I could tell now based off of like the combat and like the menu or like the UI and everything. And then like sure enough at the end here it shows the Atlas logo. I was like, yeah, I was right. So that just means I've been hanging around you too much because I can pick out like what an Atlas game looks like now. So that was it was really cool to see that and obviously people's reactions to this. I'm glad that a lot of people um or one person in particular like really is excited for a game like this because that means like there's still a fan base for these like old games like these PS2 games. So I will probably get this in the far future whenever it goes down in price or whatever, and because I would like to support older games making a comeback. I like that. I like doing that. So
Yeah, let's go. Let's get Digital Devil Saga coming back as well soon. The modern platform.
yeah, I think that was something I saw online as well. People were saying, "Hey, if this came back, can we get this one too?" And I'm like, "What is this?" Like the cover art looks really sick, so I'm kind of curious about this now. So, what Digital Devil Saga? What platform was that on originally?
PS2.
Oh, PS2
It's
again.
still
Okay.
Yeah, you can still purchase it on if you have a PlayStation 3 digitally. They're $10 on the PSN for PS3 users if you still have that.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so you could still kind of have a little easy way to access them if you don't want to buy a PS2 and you still have a PS3. But on top of that too, if you have a fat PS3, they're not that expensive. I think Atlas does like republishes of these games a lot. So like you
Wow.
could go to any convention Atlas is at and find copies of Digital Devil Saga there.
Well, I'm gonna add that to the list of games to check out then. Um, all right. So going on from there, we had this game that's been having all the buzz, which is Shadow Labyrinth. Um, for those of you who are not aware, and based off of what I know, is basically it's a Bandai Namco game. It's like a fresh take on Pac-Man, but it's done in a Metroidvania style like genre. And what kind of got like a lot of attention around it was there was a like a TV series that was released on tell me which
Amazon.
Amazon. That's right. And there was an episode dedicated to basically like this game, and people at the time were like really confused, like, what is this like weird like take on Pac-Man? And then what, like a couple weeks later, they like showed this off at one of the was it Game Awards? It was one of the or
It was something, yeah.
yeah, something there, and the people were like, oh, this was just basically marketing for this game that they're releasing, and now people are actually really excited about this game because it looks like a really fun Metroidvania game. So I'm intrigued. It's not going to be a day one purchase for me, but I am very intrigued by this. I know probably Nerdy Neo is going to be all over this since he's a Metroidvania knucklehead. What do you what do you think about this, my friend?
I mean, it's creative and it looks interesting. It is Bandai Namco, so I do trust that they are going to do something decent with the game. Because I don't think I've ever played a bad Bandai Namco game. I've always just seen, like, even their worst game is just adequate enough to fill that. The popcorn game, as I like to say. Like, it's just.
Yeah.
It's good enough to get you through a hot summer day. You know, it's kind of like when you summer blockbuster. You're just there more to get out of the heat and kind of just waste time. That's what a lot of the like mediocre Bandai Namco games feel like. This
Yeah.
game looks like it's taking like a very dead franchise in Pac-Man and trying to do something edgy with it. Kind of feels like the late '90s again, early 2000s.
Yeah.
So I look forward to seeing what they do.
Yeah, man, and I'm kind of curious if it does really well, if it will either energize other companies to follow suit to do something unique and creative like this, or if we'll get like more interesting takes from Bandai Namco for their other classic IPs. Um, Now, I for those of you watching at home, pay attention here. So this is like one of the first Bandai Namco announcements for this direct, but you're gonna see Bandai Namco quite a bit in this Nintendo Direct, and there's some specific reasons behind it. So we'll tackle them as we see them. But yes, I'm looking forward to the release of this, just as far as like the attention online that it's gonna get and how people are gonna react. So
Ah, yes, this game.
yes, so Patapon 1+2 replay. Now, with this funny
Pata 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 pon.
this funny reaction that my wife had, it was like, cause you seeing the scene here where they're like chucking spears, and she's like,
Yeah.
why do they look like? She said that I don't remember the term she used or the word she used. There's an African tribe that starts with an M. Mr. History guy here, you should know who it is. Um,
I'm blanking right now. It's like the Maui.
Yes, and they're like really tall. They have like tall spears or whatever. She's like, what is this game? Like they're like mimicking that or whatever. I'm like, I have no idea, but the moment I saw this art style, I'm like, the first thing I thought of was Loco Roco, and that's why I had to hit you up and be like, hey man, like, is this made by the same people? Because it looks exactly
Yeah,
the same, and sure enough, you confirmed it, and I double checked online too. So
Japan Studios, baby, former Sony studio known as Japan Studios, produced some of the best double A, smaller indie type games in the history of this. Patapon is definitely one of those games. If you like the more rhythm based, I love this game so much. I'm I was blown away to see it here because this is a Sony funded and owned IP, and then on top of that too, I was just like, well, it makes perfect sense because Patapon 1 and 2 and basically all the Patapons were PlayStation portable games, and there's no better place for this than the Switch. To be honest with you, and I can't wait to buy this physically for my collection.
yeah, dude. I'm very curious now. I don't know if it'll be a stretch, but if we're gonna see this for um, local Roco as well, if we'll see those get kind of like brought back to modern console or Switch, I should say specifically, because I think you could get number one for PS4 right now, um, or no? Can you?
1 and 2 are on PS4. Yeah.
Yeah, but can you get one at least one in the U.S. or North America on in PS4 for PS4?
Oh
Excuse me.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I own these. I bought them right away when I could.
Yeah,
And
so
they've recently brought Patapon 3 to the PlayStation 4 and 5 with their ports as well.
okay. I my bad. I meant Loco Roco, because I know I hunted for you 1 and 2 for the PS4. The reason being that 2 was only a Japan exclusive, right?
I think 2 was. I don't know if we. I think you could get the first Loco Roco on your PlayStation consoles. I don't know about 2.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
So
So.
I cannot
Mm.
100% confirm or deny that what you asked.
All right. I had to make sure my Discord notifications wasn't coming through, so I just turned on streamer mode. Yeah, so Patapon 1 and 2. Once again, Bandai Namco logo up there, and yeah, this will be an interesting game to try out, especially since I'm very curious about Local Roco after you had me go and hunt them down, and looking forward to trying this game out at some point. Um, but
These
yeah,
are adorable games. I love them. They're so brutal and over the top and wild and wacky. It's like the epitome of what you expect from a Japanese kind of game with that Japanese sense of, comedy, I guess you could say.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It is. I love these games, and there's no better place for it to be than I think on a Nintendo Switch. I'm just happy to see it. And like I said, there is a physical copy of this that will be coming out, so I cannot wait to scoop that up and add it to my collection.
Well, actually, I saw that it was not coming out to North America. Was that false?
Nah, I wouldn't put it past it to not come to North America, but that doesn't bother me because I'll probably just buy it from Play Asia or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually curious. This game, do you think it'll be like a $40 game then? Because it's not like they're not too terribly long, right?
No, well, it all depends. They're not like long, but if you want to get like super deep into it and build like these crazy over the top, it could last you a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. I actually might pick it up day one then if it's cheap. Especially with the currency conversion. But for the physical, yeah, for sure for the physical, it'd be a nice game to play here and there. I guess these games are basically like how do you say this? Like filler games or in between games while you're playing like bigger games, right? So like for example, I'm playing so many JRPGs right now, so I need to like kind of break it up and I play like Donkey Kong in the middle between these JRPGs or like a game like this, something to kind of like break the
A
the
palate cleanser.
yeah, palate cleanser. Yep. All right, cool beans.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was interesting to see this. Yeah, it was really interesting. Yeah, continuing forward, we've got Story of Seasons, Grand Bazaar, which, if I saw correctly, this was originally a DS game that is now like fully remastered for like a modern console. Um,
Yeah.
it, yeah, and it's just basically a an RPG, like a JRPG,
It's like a
slash.
Harvest Moon ripoff. That's the best way to say it.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, anyways, it was just interesting to see this, and I'm sure it's got an audience out there for to buy it, and it's not really for me, but it's cool to see that it'll get like a new life on the Switch. So
Yeah, this is what I call games for my wife.
that's great. Yes. Oh
Because
man.
she loves these type of like little farm sim, thing else like that. She gets obsessed with like Harvest Moon, or that or Animal Crossing or Dreamlight Valley, which is
Yeah.
her real obsession that she loves. But like, yeah, she's played I think Story of Seasons before. She's just like, yeah, it's alright, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It's no Harvest Moon, but it's all right.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the big one here that I'm ready to talk about. So, finally, we got some more gameplay for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. And boy, oh boy, this was really cool to see. Just some more gameplay, like I said. And there's a little bit more details that they actually revealed to us as far as some of the story surrounding this game. So, I'm gonna let you go first. Like, what did you think about what you saw from this? Now, actually, can you please preface with, have you played any of the Prime games, Metroid Prime games?
I've played exactly 30 minutes Metroid Prime Remastered.
All right, so we're
So,
off to a good start.
so I'm kind of an expert, as they would
I'm
say.
kind of an expert. All right, there. That's great. Okay.
Like I never had any negative opinion about the Metroid games before, and I still can't say I can. I do like that they've incorporated giving Samus some psychic powers.
Yes.
I think that's pretty cool, especially because it looks like it's gonna be fun for puzzle solving in this game, from what I can
Yes.
tell.
Yes. And also with the enemies as well. Like I'm sure a lot of the bosses are gonna have mechanics to them with this. So what you can do here, what that's happening is you can basically control your beam, almost like you curve bullets like it's wanted, and I'm sure the bosses are gonna have mechanics like this. So that'll be really interesting to see how that's implemented.
Yeah, I don't want to steal anyone's joy or thunder from it because I cannot give a full, real breakdown of it. I'm not a big Metroid fan because I've never really played them too much.
All right.
Because
Mm.
in my life, but I like to hear your opinion more on it because
I'll take the
I know.
wheel here, buddy.
Oh,
I'll
please
take the
do.
wheel here, Goose. So yeah, dude. Okay, so first off, I need to say that they have recaptured the basically the feeling that you have while you're playing Metroid, and they really came with the music. Um, the music in this trailer, this gameplay trailer, just really went back to the basics of Metroid Prime's music, with the like ethereal sounding tracks, very like almost like not heavenly, but just like alien sounding with the keyboard, the piano keys playing in the background as well. That's very important for this type of for these games. The environments look very lush and rich with just new life, like new alien life. Now, what's really interesting is that Samus is has been like magically or like unexpectedly like kind of like teleported to this planet, and she's kind of like stuck on this planet. So that kind of kills the rumors that were going around that like maybe they'll do like a Metroid Prime 3 approach, which is basically Prime 1 and 2 you're stuck on a planet the whole game. Whereas like Prime 3 you can actually go to different planets and you and different locations, and you use your ship to help you get around. It's more like for like fast traveling, and also your ship has more utility in the game as well. And so I'm kind of glad that they're kind of going back to the basics with Prime 1 and two's mechanics, where you're kind of just stuck on the planet and you need to like just work around this planet, which is how I prefer Metroid in that way. Um, yeah, man. But besides that, everything about this looked really cool, and it looked like really clean too for like a late Switch title, which I think is going to be pretty amazing to play on Switch too. Um, on top of that, Samus is. I think what's really interesting, by the way, I'm gonna rewind this from or my bad, it's up here. In the promo art, they have her with the purple visor as well. And especially right here. So she's got like the purple highlights on her armor. And even her ammo is shooting purple, which is very different than the other games. Um, I don't know if that's like a detail for because you can't tell here if she has the psychic abilities or not, but I think that's like gonna play in with the story, like why she has like this, like slightly armor change to her with the details and whatnot. But anyways, I'm
Yeah.
gonna try not to nerd out too hard here. But also another detail is the kind of like it looks like a purple jewel on her forehead there. That's kind of like just the armor detail that they're doing with that is really interesting as well. It's shown on the promo art as well. But yeah, the mechanics here with the psychic abilities is going to be really interesting. It's also kind of opens the door to I think that they'll be able to they should be able to port Metroid Prime 3 without any issues because Prime 3 had a lot of
And
motion
two.
stuff. Into but I'm saying like Prime 3 had a lot of like heavy motion control for certain like puzzles and whatnot, and I think it's possible that they can do that for the Switch now, and they can kind of like readjust those motion controls based off of what I'm seeing here with the psychic abilities. But yeah,
Yeah.
of course, Prime 2. Yeah, Prime 2 is basically using the original Prime engine as well. But um, yeah, besides that, everything looked amazing. There's some aliens here. So another thing that a good friend of mine told me is that he's kind of glad that the Chozo are kind of taking a back seat. So the Chozo are basically um in a way, because you'll understand this, the Chozo are basically like the forerunners in the Samus universe, and the
Okay.
Chozo in a way gave Samus the suit of armor she's wearing, and it's basically it's a Chozo armor, and I like it when they kind of step away from the Chozo and they focus on like other alien races and other alien civilizations because it makes the universe much bigger. And that's one of the reasons why I like Prime 2 because Prime 2 deals with like a completely different race of aliens. And the Chozo are like not really like part of that story. So, anyways, so we have like this new race of aliens here. We got these new locations which look really amazing. Um, of course, there's a little glimpse here of a Metroid because you gotta have Metroid in a Metroid game. Um, of course, everything. When I said that this looks like a true Metroid Prime game, the movement looks exactly like how it should be. Like, um, I mean, I was just kind of losing my mind just how like okay, we're so back now. Metroid is back. Like it was worth the 7+ years of waiting for this game, which funny enough, for those of you who are not aware, originally this game was being developed by a blacked out company. I don't know how to really describe it, but basically no one knew who the company was. And then Nintendo was not happy with the development of it. And they're like, we're gonna start all over again. And that's when they brought in Retro Studios. And Retro Studios is the original company that made the Prime games, and they also did the Donkey Kong Country Return games. And now they did not fully do the remaster for Prime. That was handed off to Iron Galaxy, and Iron Galaxy was the company that actually, or the developer that did the Prime remaster. But the rumor
I
has
didn't know
it,
that.
yeah, I looked this up recently because I was kind of curious, like if if we got Prime 4 this year, like how soon can we get Prime 2 and 3 remaster? And I found out that it was Iron Galaxy that did it, and that means Iron Galaxy is like their own company that could probably make it pretty within a decent time frame. So we could get Prime 2 and 3
Oh,
next year.
you didn't hear the news with Iron Galaxy.
Oh, I didn't. What's up?
They're like facing layoffs and barely functioning now.
Oh, okay. Well, that's gonna be that'll be interesting then for Prime 2 and 3. Then I guess at this point it could come back to Retro Studios to take care of those. Um,
Yeah, or they could find like another party to license it out to or something like that.
Mercury
Iron
Steam, yeah.
Galaxy's yeah, Iron Galaxy is barely staying afloat. Like they just had to lay off I think 50% of their staff.
That's crazy. That's unfortunate to hear
Yeah.
that. Then, um, well, man, now I lost my train of thought about this, but this looks like it's gonna be amazing. This game, I'll tell you what. Prime 4 is gonna be fantastic. Oh, my bad. What I was gonna say was apparently some rumors said that the original developer for Prime 4 was Bandai Namco. And then I guess Nintendo didn't like the direction that it was going, and that's why they scrapped it. So that is kind of interesting. if that were true or not. I don't see because people were saying like, oh, it could have been Capcom that could have done it. I don't think Capcom would have touched this. I think it would have been Bandai Namco. Um, I don't even think it would have been Mercury Steam either. I think it was like people were saying it was a like a big party, like a big developer name. So, anyways, besides that, we do get a glimpse at a new suit that she's wearing in this game, and it looks pretty sick here. This like black and red drip, as the kids would say nowadays. Yeah. So, um, anyways, I'm excited. We'll talk later about like possible release dates, like when this will come out. But I don't know. Are you gonna get back into playing Prime Remastered, my friend? I think you would like that game. I think you would.
Tis the plan because Neo said I had to play it. Oh, I will
Oh,
get
that's
it.
true. Yeah, for the gaming challenge. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Unfortunately, there was no reveal date or release date revealed for this, but like I said, we'll talk about it later. I have some ideas on when they might drop this, but yeah. Moving forward, we've got this game. Now, I was watching the Japanese version, so I didn't know that there was this weird Disney Villains Curse Cafe game coming out. Um, I'm trying to remember what game was announced for Japan after this. I don't even remember now, but
Yeez.
it was Yeast after this.
Cecilia? Yeah.
Oh, wait, so Yeast wasn't even shown for oh, it wasn't.
No, it was not shown for the American one, only for the Japanese.
Okay, I didn't even do my homework on that. All right, well, I'm gonna pull that up here then here in a second. But yeah, so Disney Villains Curse Cafe, is this another game for your wife?
Exactly. This is a games for women.
Yeah, there's a
We
lot of
don't play
women
games.
characters here actually. Yeah.
Little did you know that a lot of villains in Disney movies are women, so based.
Oh boy. All right. We'll get to Yeast later then. Next one we got Witchbrook. So this is like a isometric looking or top down what like not Stardew Valley but like an RPG game. What do you think about this? Another wife game? Another wife game?
This is games made for gay teenagers. As I like to say.
All right. Well, there you got it, folks.
That I like I said, this just looks like like a trend that I see a lot with how do you say this? I see this a lot with like the people who have like LGBTQ stuff in their profile and stuff like that
Yes.
because it seems like it's geared towards like those type of communities more that like they want to be like little witches and wizards and they're more in their feelings and such like that. I'm not like trying to disparage anyone. I'm just saying like this looks like from when I hang out with people on gaming discourse, it's like this is the people who are going to be more involved with it, you know?
Yes.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's necessarily not for me. Haven't played the game, and I've known more about it. I just know that it'll probably be like a little indie darling that's held up more specifically in a small pocket of the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that. I like that art style as far as like that type of pixel. I think it's like it's pretty neat looking. But I definitely I'm not really interested in playing that. So, switching gears here. So over on the Japanese Direct, we got a Super Robot Wars game that's coming out in Japan. And yeah, this looks like it'll be a pretty fun game to play. All of the there's your seed character here.
It's basically mech crossover the game.
Yes, yes, yes. So if Pop Culture Mechanic was here, he'd probably be freaking out about that because I was thinking about it when I saw this. I was like, yeah, this looks like a Pop Culture Mechanic game, Super Robot Wars.
I have them. They're fun.
Yeah, so going through here, this is just some of the highlights, like some of these games that are coming out. So we have like this Eternal Life of Goldman. Now I did call this a another Konami collection was dropping, Gradius Origins. So I had a hunch that we're gonna get another collection, like a Konami collection, and sure enough, so this looks pretty cool, especially how one or two of these are arcade games, and now they'll you can play them on consoles. So pretty neat.
And
Probably
a new game.
Yeah,
A new game. Yeah.
yes, that's right, a new game as well. I believe it's which one is it? Is it this last one that was here, the Salamander one,
Salamander 3?
3? Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So pretty cool. I do like the art style here of these ships. They look pretty dope. So besides that, we got another kind of Necrodancer or rhythm game from the Necrodancer series. So Rift of the
Yep.
Necrodancer. The only one I've played is the Zelda one, and I actually when I first started playing that, I turned off the rhythm because I couldn't like jive with it. I thought it was like really annoying. So I
White
played.
people.
Yes. So I played the game without the rhythm on, which kind of is like the whole point of the game. But anyway, so Rift of the Necrodancer, interesting game. Um, next we've got another wife game, another Bandai Namco game.
Yep.
So Tamagotchi Plaza, and
Is it Tamagotchi or Tamagotchi? I always get annoyed. My
um,
Midwesterness has always heard it Tamagotchi.
so in Japanese it's Tamagotchi, because Tamago is egg in Japanese, and chi is like basically like the device. Because you remember the devices, right? The classic Tamagotchi devices.
I do,
They look
yeah.
like eggs, so that's what it is. So
Yeah.
uh,
I figured
mm.
as much, but my Midwest accent does not allow me to comprehend this word.
No worries, no worries. Real quickly, I will show uh that yeast game here. Um, oh, I don't want to show that one just quite yet. I thought it was much earlier in the direct.
Oh, I didn't watch it in Japanese.
Yes. Where are ya? That's Radu or Rado. And then we got this game here, the Super Robot Wars.
While he's looking for this, everyone remember, please leave a like and a comment. It really does help this channel grow.
Thank you, I
Wait, go
appreciate
back.
that.
Go back, go back, back.
How far back?
One more. Keep going. Yeah!
The
We got the horse racing game back? What are you talking about? They cut this out from our game?
Yeah,
These games are,
dude.
these
I
games
was
are great.
I was I was laughing because I'm like, this is like the most stereotypical like Japanese otaku game. A middle-aged otaku game is horse racing. Yeah.
Bro, you don't understand. These are like great games on the PS2. What are you talking about?
Oh my goodness, you were channeling your inner middle-aged Japanese man way before you were before you hit that age. um,
These are like great sim games. What are you talking about? You're a hater. You gotta play one.
listen, I see these games everywhere, and I also see like the some of the older games too, like at the retro shops, like in the dollar bins. Like they're just like everywhere out here. So, um,
You gotta stream one now.
no, I'm good. I'm totally good. I'm not really interested in that. Yeah, of course, Hello Kitty, and I don't know what happened to this East game. I can't find it. Now, what about this game here? The Star Overdrive. Excuse me, Star Overdrive game. Are you familiar with this? That's coming out. It's like a. Let me see. I'll play a little bit of it because I'm not monetized, so it's not that big of a deal. This game right here. Are you familiar with this? It was announced like about a year ago, I think.
I heard about it. I just don't remember it. It was kind of like one of the gettable games, I think.
I'm curious because it has like this massive open world and you're kind of like skating around, like Sonic Rider style. And
Yeah.
so I'm very curious about this. Um, yeah, I'm not sure what this Yeast game was, but long story short, Yeast 5 is announced for Japan. I don't know about the West, but Yeast 5 has been on the Vita and or basically trapped on the Vita, and now it's coming out for modern consoles. So that's really cool, and we're very close, dude, from having all the Yeast games on like the Nintendo Switch, for example. So I'm looking forward to that because then you can own like all of them for one console, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I know. It's getting closer.
All right, man. We're gonna get into another big hitter here, which I didn't really care about seeing this because Pokemon Game Freak is a very selfish company, and they had an entire day to talk about this game, and they decided to take up a whole like how long was this? Like 3 minutes of airtime for this game that they already showed
Yeah,
off earlier.
because you know what the audience wants. We want Pokemon. Damn it!
Yeah.
It's the biggest IP in the world. Are you shocked that they would also say like, "Hey, while we have you here, we're
Yeah,
going to devote some time to it."
yeah. I'm not like surprised, but yeah, man. So I watched the original like release trailer for this, and I was like, okay, it is what it is. But anything new really that was revealed from this that is like kind of explaining what's happening in this game, or was it more of the same?
I mean, there was some stuff that like was expanded upon. One second.
Late 2025, which keep that in mind, folks. We'll get to that later about these releases. It's going to coincide with Prime 4. Um,
Sorry, I just was eating. Took a quick bite because I didn't think I was going to talk that fast.
oh, you're good.
Um, basically, it was nice to see them show off like the day and night cycle that they put in here,
Yeah.
where they have like the battle zones and like everything kind of has a competition rank and everything. Because this isn't a traditional Pokemon game where you fight gym leaders and get the Elite Four.
Yeah.
So if you played Arceus, you'll know that Pokemon battles wasn't like really a thing in that game in terms of like other trainers, because the theming of it was more like exploration and to go fight like the actual Pokemon themselves. Versus this one now, it's kind of great to know that they have like a rank system where like Z is the lowest rank, A is the highest rank, so you got to do all that stuff as well.
Yes.
So that was cool. Like I said, I just got to see how this game runs, basically perform, because that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. It looks like Arceus. If you liked Arceus, this looks like it'll be right up your alley. But I can't really give too much opinions of it. I've seen enough of this game to know, like, I just want to know uh, gimmick is, like the new megas and everything else
Yes.
like that. And I want to know if we're going to get regional variants for the evolutions, like Galarian or Kalos. Sorry, not Galarian. Like Kalos Meganium and Kalos Feraligatr and
Yeah.
Kalos Embor. You know.
Yeah. Real quickly,
I,
do want to say hi to a couple people that came in. Lucifer the Doberman, what's up? Hey, appreciate you coming on by, dude. And Viking Warrior, thanks for coming on by as well. And of course, everyone's crowd favorite, Pop Culture Mechanic. Hey man, I gotta show you real quickly since you're here. I don't know if you saw, but Super Robot Wars Y, I think it's called Super Robot Wars Y, was announced, and I feel like there's probably gonna be a Macross reference in this game as well. So I'm not sure if you saw this yet, but anyways, just wanted to point this out to you.
my
Um,
favorite thing is that they had some good old G Gundam representation
oh
there.
yes, I saw. Yeah, I was laughing when I saw all that. I was like, this is just gonna be great.
The
It's gonna be.
greatest Gundam series, the most racist Gundam series, the best of both worlds.
um, so going back to Pokemon Legends ZA, if you notice here, man, I do see a graphical improvement though from Arceus to this game. At least like the textures look a little bit more detailed than they did in the other game, where the other game just everything looked pastel, um, and like super cell shaded. So
Yeah.
now I do share your concern that like performance is probably not going to be the best, but I am very curious about this game to see what they will do. Spoiler alert, like I'm a big fan of Y and Z, and I do like
Said.
I said that on purpose. I do
No.
like most of my like top 5 Pokemon, I think, or most of my favorite Pokemon are from the Kalos region. So this is like basically a game made for me. Just like Arceus was, I do like Diamond and Pearl. I know you like Diamond and Pearl too in
Love
Platinum.
Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah, so like that game probably hit home for you as well. But this game for me, I'm hoping it will hit home for me, and I'm looking forward to what this game's gonna have. But yeah,
Yeah, around this time too, I got into started playing competitively with the Pokemon card game as well.
for Diamond and Pearl or X and Y.
X and Y
Oh,
was when
gotcha.
I started to get more into it because I was phasing out of Yu-Gi-Oh. I was like, I hate Magic. It just wasn't for me, and this was like the Started my sponsorship route, as you could say.
Your sponsorship arc.
Yeah, this like I said, I know a lot of people like shit on, sorry, uh, crap on Scarlet and Violet, but a lot of like the models in those games are actually very well detailed if you look at them. Some Pokemon have more in-depth scaling and everything,
Yeah.
show their scales and stuff. So it is really nice to see a lot of them bring. It looks like they're going to bring a lot of that from those games into this one too. I can't wait to just get my hands on it. I know. I think in the original Japanese trailer, it said autumn of 2025.
I'll pull that up for
And
you.
like, I just remember like the original one, Pokemon Day. I don't know if it's the same in this one, but there was a leaked on. Sorry, it wasn't leaked online, but it was said online that it was like autumn 2025 on the original Japanese.
Oh, okay. Well, I will have to look that up later then, because that's interesting. Yeah, I'll talk. We'll talk about the release schedule later, but yeah, I might buy this day one. Like I said, I need to see more to really sell me on it, but I do like a little bit more what I see now. Um, but yeah, it'll be fun. I did like Arceus, so I do like this style of Pokemon, like this type of like more exploration and like researching and whatnot. So
Yeah,
um,
I like a lot of people like as a Pokemon fan, um, and I feel like this is the thing that you and I talk about every now and then, where it's like why people go like, why are you defending these like multi-billion-dollar companies? And you're like, it's a fair point, but I'm just like, I'm also like a fan of this stuff, so I just want to kind of correct the record sometimes. And I feel like that's kind of like the issue we have with like being fans is like we got to balance that like shill versus like defending the honor of a billion-dollar company when it's like, but it's just like Pokemon has done a great job with their spin-off games since I think the very beginning. Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Puzzle League, Pokemon Stadium,
Stadium, yeah.
and I feel like these Arceus style games are gonna be very popular, and if they keep doing this, they could do like this forever if they wanted to. But I like it. I like what they're doing. Um, I probably will have to send you money because only Korea and Europe get the steel books for these games. It feels like.
Yeah, yeah. I don't understand why, but yeah, it is a bit odd.
Yeah, yeah, it is odd. Specifically, just South Korea and Europe. That's it. So that's why it's the weirdest part. Not even Japan usually gets steel books.
So, next game that kind of shocked a lot of people is Rhythm Heaven is making a comeback. And for those who are not familiar, Rhythm Heaven, I don't know how it was in North America, but in Japan, quite the popular DS title, to the point that in the Nintendo Museum, they have like several different merch pieces of Rhythm Heaven. I'm like, man, this game is pretty popular, and I basically find it everywhere I go. And like my wife, that no, she didn't grow up really playing a lot of games, but she recognized this right off the bat, and she's like, yeah, like everybody talked about this game back in the day. So it's getting new life for the Nintendo Switch. What do you think about this, man?
I thought it was like really weird when they were like introducing it because it had like that text to speech kind of feel to it.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, what is going on here?
This is a franchise I am not familiar like at all. I don't even think I knew anyone that like could even fake saying like yeah they liked Rhythm Heaven growing up or something.
Yeah.
This is
Mm,
what this is just one of those games that I think was more Japanese centric and got beat out, or at least over here in terms of popularity, by like other games like Parappa the Rapper and even Guitaru Man. That because I feel like those just fit better here in America, and it's just I just never heard of this series, so I have no opinions on it. I might pick it up and force my wife to play it just because it'll be funny.
yes, yeah. I,
But
mm,
after that, I can't even form a good opinion on it, so I just can't comment other than like it sold me with that weird opening, so I'm in.
Yeah, so I guess like just to add a little bit more, like I said, it's a big hit in Japan. There's like a lot of copies of it out here, so you just like stumble over it while you're like retro hunting. And um, like I said, Nintendo Museum had like a couple stickers and or a couple merchandise for it, I should say. Um, what I guess what sells it is how you could tell the art style is slightly different and the environments are different for all the different like mini games that you do. So it's got kind of like this WarioWare feel to it with the mini games. I'm pretty sure well, it is developed by Nintendo, and I'm pretty sure it was put inside Smash Brothers Brawl, like as like maybe like a trophy or something, and maybe it was later used in other games. But no, I was in the same boat as you. Like growing up, I want to say I remember seeing an ad for it, like in a magazine or like a Nintendo like related like thing, and I just never thought anything of it. And then I move out here and I just see it like everywhere in the DS sections of these retro shops. So,
You know,
um,
out of curiosity, I wonder how much this game costs, like the old one. Maybe I'll try to look for it when I'm out retro hunting. Well, I'm going to a video game convention next week. Maybe I'll go and see if I can scoop up a copy.
yeah. Let me know. I don't care to purchase it, but I am curious to know like price wise, like how it is now. So, um, all right. So the next big thing that was shown by Nintendo was this new thing that they're doing called Virtual Game Card. Now, me being a Nintendo fanboy and not really like doing a whole lot with other consoles. The concept of what they're doing here has already existed on other consoles, and I feel like you're more qualified to explain it to me and also other people. But what is like basically what they're trying to sell here to us with this virtual game card?
So it's just basically sharing. That's the best way to say it. It's just
Game
exactly
sharing, yeah.
what is exactly what it sounds like. With if you have an Xbox, you can game share. If you have a PlayStation, you have game share. Um, I do like one thing about this thing, and that is you can basically share with everyone on your Nintendo Family account, which is
Yes.
nice. So that might actually make me want to start back up my Nintendo Online subscription and invite like 8 people onto it again,
Yes.
just to share some games, especially if you have some like a big digital collector.
Yes.
Uh, but the issue I still don't like is that once again, it's the very Nintendo in the way it's done, and you have to basically uh, beat the game in 2 weeks, you know,
Oh
and
yeah, the
then
time limit that it comes with. Yeah.
yeah, like it always feels like it's like Nintendo is like one step forward and it's like 2 step backs from like doing something fully committal. I would say this is probably one of the very few consumer friendly moves, especially
Yes.
if you got like a bunch of people like on a family plan, and especially if they're all over the world. So say like I have you on my plan, then I have Smooth plan, so I got the German and the Japanese audience all in with America, and then you can share your games like that. I wonder how that will work, especially if
Oh, it
when it
will
comes
be
to all
tied
this
to
stuff.
the region accounts. So like um I think it's gonna be isolated by regions, man. I don't think like you'll be able to do cross pollination like from Japanese regions. Like for example, if I use my Japanese account and you add me with your account, the family plan, I have a funny feeling they're not gonna allow that. I don't know why. I just have a feeling because like you said, they take one step forward but two steps back. Like with this whole like two
Yeah.
week rental system. Um, so I guess we'll find out, and I'm all for like if it does work out, like you can like play Japanese games or I can play German games or whatever. Then I'm all for like creating these family gangs, these like mafias
Yeah.
for the Switch family.
And the thing is like I always told people when Sandra and I had our family plan originally, we had like 4 other people on it with us. And I'm like, I don't. You guys don't have to pay me for this. I'm using it. It never bothered me, but like I said, this now adds more value, I think, to like a family plan in general, because instead of like, say for example, now You have like the one person that just has the account and everyone chips in. Like now it feels like it's more economically like of value, I guess you could say, if you have that one that doesn't care about physical media and he just buys everything digital. Now it feels like that plan gets a little bit more valuable because you can now bounce around games a lot more with people. You can only do it one at a time. That's what it said, which is another thing. But at the same time, if you're really dedicated to being a gamer, like this is like probably really good, especially because it also helps you locally, which I like because a lot of my big issues is like just having two DSs. I mean, not switches, and you cannot do anything with like two
Yes.
switches easily. That's another thing.
So I'll take it from here. So like when for the longest time I had one Switch, the original Switch, and then I got the OLED Switch and I put away the original one. And then when the Zelda Light Switch came out, I'm like, okay, cool. Now I have like a light switch and OLED. And I ran into that issue where um if I wanted to play a digital game on my Switch Lite, it would need to check the internet in order to verify that like I own the game, even though it's attached to my account. And that was just like really frustrating. And so what I basically had to do was or what I decided, I wanted to turn the Switch Lite into the home console, because the way it used to work was the home console owns the DRM license basically for all the digital games, and it doesn't need the internet to check. But then I decided, you know what, my Switch Lite's going to be my physical cartridge console, so basically physical cartridge game only. But now that's been alleviated with this new system, this new digital, or excuse me, virtual game card, which is really nice for somebody like me that wants to like transfer these games around to the different consoles I own. So I'm really glad that this came out. It's a little too late, but the way that was explained to me by somebody else is that Nintendo basically needed to build its library out before they started kind of like having this system to like share games and whatnot. Otherwise, like people are just going to be. I mean, I think that's why they have the 2 week limit as well, the 2 week plan. Also, the 2 week plan kind of ties in with the whole like you can only share one time at one at a time. Because if you think about it, like if you shared a game with me and then like I just held it hostage for like 10 years, and then you're never able to share again, that would be kind of like unfortunate. Unless they like made a setting in the game that allowed you to like force it back to you or something. Anyways, but that whole sequence, I don't really care so much about the family or the outside your family sharing type stuff. I like the whole like now you can finally move it around between your own consoles, because I thought that was like really needed in the beginning. So, um, but I know for a fact other consoles or companies do it better. Like Steam does it better, I believe. And what about like Xbox and PlayStation? Do they do this better?
So Xbox does it a lot better because basically, if you game share with someone, you can always buy games at half price if you have somebody to work with, and you can both play it at the same time. You know,
Yeah.
PlayStation is kind of a little, backwards on it still. It's more of a hassle, but you can still do it with PlayStation.
Okay. So one thing Pop Culture Mechanic brings up is the DS. So he's talking about the DS. If you have Mario Kart, you can share it with a friend so you can play together. So that was slightly different. That was called DS Download Play, which is probably one of the coolest technologies that Nintendo has done for like handheld gaming. And I wish they would have like brought that back for the Switch as well. But yeah, basically, a lot of the DS games had the DS download play option, and you basically share a small copy of the game with a friend, and then you could all play the game together. And that was and that was carried over into the 3DS as well. And so I really like that. I wish they would have kept that for like the Switch, but um, I guess like maybe the games are too large to do that. I don't know, or they
A buddy
wanted.
pass.
Yeah, the buddy pass system.
Yeah.
They could have done that too with like Split Fiction and is Split Fiction, that company, are they the only people that have utilized the buddy pass, or have other companies done it as well?
I think some companies might have done something some way, but I feel like Hazelight Studios is the only one that has managed to do it successfully for a sustained amount of time.
Yeah. All right. So pretty cool stuff. A lot of people are gonna obviously complain because they think that like it's not enough, but it is what it is. I think it's a decent step forward, even if it's a small step forward. So
It's better than nothing.
yeah. Uh,
That's you can take that statement however you wish.
Yeah, so coming up, we've got like just kind of like a bunch of games being thrown at us at one time. So High on Life, I remember seeing this all over the internet back when it came out. It was like a pretty crazy first-person shooter type game.
Mediocre.
Yeah.
It's mediocre at best. It's the comedy kind of hit or miss.
Here's that Star Overdrive game, which is actually coming out in April. I didn't realize that, so I might have to look
Oh wow,
into
that's
this.
really quick.
Yeah. Um, it looks interesting. I might probably get it day one. I don't know, but
I
wandering.
would not get it for the Switch. That's just my opinion.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Um, yeah, just some more like indie related type of games or whatnot. To satisfy your craving for some indie titles. Um, and then we got this interesting game here, which I at first when I saw this, I fell for the bait. I fell for the Fire Emblem bait. I was like,
I was like, I did too.
yeah, I was like, no, it's genealogy, no, no. But no, of course, it was Saga Frontier 2 remastered. Um, another uh, PlayStation game or exclusive game back in the day that is now coming back to modern consoles, but it's showcased here on the on the Nintendo Switch. So, Square Enix, man, all the stuff people, all the dunking people do on Square for like some of their modern stuff, you can't really hate on them for bringing back a lot of like classics. So, I am very curious about the Saga Frontier games. So, I definitely want to get into them. But what are your thoughts about this, man?
uh, I hear good things about the series, but just like a lot of JRPGs, it's finding the time to play them.
Yeah.
I would say if you want good breakdowns on these JRPGs, there's this one channel I follow called Gaming Productions. If you want to learn some more stuff about this, go check those guys out. I think they got a good breakdown of a lot of these games.
All right, that's cool. If you've got if you want, you can find the link and drop it, and while I continue forward. So,
Yeah,
um,
give me a second.
yeah, Saga Front 2. Um, I think it's cool, man. Like Square Enix, they're bringing back older games and for people to play them because I see this game a lot out here on in the retro shops, Saga Frontier games, I should say. So I'm familiar with the logo and I know it's a Square game, but one of these days I definitely want to jump into it. Now an interesting release here is Monument Valley 1 and 2, and I'm totally gonna get this on the Switch, especially if there's a physical release because I played this on the phone back in the day, and I really enjoyed it. So, being
Oh,
able,
it's a phone game.
yeah, this was originally like an iPhone game, or like a mobile, a smartphone game. But I'm pretty sure it was an iPhone game first. But 1, 2, and 3, which I didn't, I didn't know there was a 2 and 3, because I'm pretty disconnected from mobile games. But
3 is coming out, I think. That's a new one.
yeah, sorry, it's coming out. Yeah, 3. Um, so but these are pretty cool games. It's all about like perspective and whatnot, but they're very like simple, easy games to play, and they're puzzle games. So my good friend Legend of Leo is a big puzzle gamer, and I think he'd like to see these games on the Switch and play them. But yeah, as long as this comes out physically, I'm totally gonna buy this because I really liked the first game, the Monument Valley. So
I mean, I'd probably buy these games digitally too, just because they looked very interesting and fresh. What they gave me a feel for was, have you played a game called Cocoon yet?
no.
You should check out Cocoon because it gave me a lot of Cocoon vibes, and it feels like they might have been inspired by.
Okay, Cocoon. All right.
And it
Um,
does have a physical, just to give you a heads up, for the Switch as well.
oh, dope. I just made you a mod, so because you're on your different account. So if you want to reshare that link while I continue,
There we go.
my bad. Um, all right, so continue forward. Yeah, and like you said, Monument 3 Valley 3 is being developed. So that's pretty cool that they're working on a third game, and I like the art style. I'm a sucker for like
Same.
art style, and I do like this like art style that's going on here. So, um, all right. moving
I
forward.
prefer
Oh,
that over realistic for sure. I'm not like
yeah.
you know me. I prefer Tim Burton esque. I like the cell shade. Another game that came out that I played earlier this year, which I still beat. That uh, something resist. I
Oh,
can't remember the name off the top of my head. Thousand X Resist.
okay.
Like I like those art styles type of game, and they're also puzzle games like that. So like I said, it gave me a lot of those vibes. Really do enjoy games like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna get my wife to play them. I think she'll have fun playing them. Uh, Going back to the Japanese direct before we get into another big reveal. We
Was that Super Dodgeball?
this let me rewind this so I can read it. This one,
No.
the
You'll see
next
it.
one. Okay.
Not this one. Not that one. This one.
This is I gotta read that. My bad. I wasn't reading the title here. This is the Akusisu or Aku System Works. Ax System Works. Oh, my bad. I'm reading the company name. Technics Zaworldo and
Zawaldo.
Akedo. Oh, Akedo Collection. So this is a collection right here. Yeah, another collection game.
Oh, cool. Because I think that's Super Dodgeball right after this one.
Pop culture might know. He might know. I know he's an old head. So, um,
Because this game was wild. Call if it's the same one, be kind of projecting, but yeah, that game was awesome.
I'll look it up later when we get into the next big topic here. But
And then this is a dating sim, right?
yeah, this one was like kind of like the famous one that people were talking about overseas. But I don't think it's getting an international release. But yeah, they showed this off again, and um, yeah, it was kind of funny just to see this. So
Oh, hey, look at that.
oh, he said okay. So he's saying it looks like a Super Dodgeball. So, um, what are you saying? Hey, look at that for his chat or what's on screen?
What he said.
Okay, good. Of course, the Capcom Fighting Collection 2 was shown off as well. Um, and yeah, we'll go back to the English one, but or North American one. But was that shown off as well for? No, it wasn't
No,
shown off. That's interesting.
no,
Okay,
it's not.
huh. All right. This one's gonna be interesting. So we got here. This is really funny, but a golf game. But listen, it's not just any golf game, all right? And I want you to tell us like what makes this golf game like kind of like interesting that we're seeing it in 2025 on the Switch, no less.
So this is another Sony-owned IP coming over to Steam and the Switch. Hot Shots Golf, or as they rebranded it a little bit later, Everybody's Golf. On top of that, too, this was also made, I think, in part with Camelot Studios as well.
Oh, Camelot. Okay, that would make sense because they've done a lot of the old Nintendo sports
Golf
arcade
yeah.
games. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
So I can't wait. I feel like this is one that we need to get like a group night together and just all play it on Steam or something.
Yes, yes.
just to have fun, because like these are actually fun golf games as well. They're really well done, and the reason why is because it's also made by the same studio that did the Mario Golf series, which are also done, except for the new ones. But the older ones are fun.
Yes. Waifu golf game says pop culture mechanic.
Yeah, I like I said, this is just a shocker because I didn't expect this one. Like I didn't even expect Pat. When I saw Patapon, blown away. I was like, really, Patapon? That's because that's like really known for being a Sony IP. And then like, you see Hot Shots Golf pop up, and I'm just like, what?
Yep.
We got two Sony IPs being ported to other consoles, and it just kind of like blew my mind. On top of that, too, it's also getting a Steam release. So we can talk more about that after we're done with it because we're almost closing out. But yeah, this this for sure caught me off guard, and I can't wait to play it. I actually this is I'm almost more excited to play this than I am Patapon because I've played Patapon so much.
um, so I'm looking at that last thing with the super dodgeball, and I'm seeing, yeah, it looks like super dodgeball is in that collection.
Oh, that's a great one. You should play that, man.
All right. So one thing I'll say about this, the reason why I recognize this as a PlayStation title is because recently I've been doing a lot of Vita retro hunting, and this game I always see like as like a Vita
Everywhere.
game, like just
Yeah.
everywhere, and I'm like, because when I like I said I watched this in the Japanese, the Japanese title came up. I'm like, I've seen this before. What is this? Oh, this because I couldn't remember. I'm like, oh, this is the Vita game. So yeah, another Sony game being showcased on Nintendo Switch, which is really funny. Um, but yeah, I totally agree. We definitely got to get a game night and just all play this game.
This is just a game night. This is like a Friday night game. Pop, you have to join us Friday night.
Yeah,
All right? You hear me?
yeah, Friday night
Uh,
game night.
I think you could get up to 4 people. We could get like a person. Maybe we could get IJP or something too. Like
Yeah, man, get as many people as we can. Yeah.
that'd be
Um,
great.
Another game. Speaking of IJP, another game was announced that I don't think a lot of people realize or saw coming was, Dotemu is back with another beat 'em up game, and this time they're going the Marvel routes. And this game looks fantastic. I don't know about you, but I played Shredder's Revenge, and I had a lot of fun with Shredder's Revenge. A lot of
I did
people did.
too. Yeah.
I don't have the DLC. I need to get the DLC for it, but I really liked it, and I liked everything I saw with this. So, what are your thoughts about this, man?
I mean, excuse me. It's a beat 'em up. If they do a really good job with this, I'm sure it will be a hit. I'm sure it will sell well. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people streaming it. I'm sure there'll be party nights with this because, like I said, I'd play this with probably Seth. Seth would probably be in love with this game if it turns out good.
Yeah.
And on top of that too, I'm already hearing the autistic Rees that limited run games might be printing out a physical for it.
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, cause I missed out on the no, Shredder's Revenge is not by limited runs though. I think you can get that. I think that was
The
self-published.
collectors were.
Oh, the collector. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have the digital that I like to pick up physical, but it is what it is with the with the LRG stuff. One thing that's
Yeah.
funny, so apparently there was a little scene here with Wolverine, and he does a move, and the move is a reference to another like an old school Marvel game, and it's when and he yells like Swiss cheese in the old game, but I don't know about this game if he yells it too. But people are kind of losing their minds about like the little subtle references to some of the other Marvel games, beat 'em ups
Yeah.
or fighting games as well. So, Dotemu, you got to give them credit. They definitely do their homework, and they definitely dive into the some of the deeper lore of these older games and whatnot. And I really like it. So I'm definitely gonna try to get my hands on this as well. I think it was this scene right here. Let's see, might have been a different one, but it looks great. I mean, you got all the right characters here, and yeah, Venom, Spider-Man, but yeah, fantastic. Kind of curious what the price point will be. I don't remember how much Shredder's Revenge was, but
I don't
yeah,
think Shredder's was that expensive. You never know.
yeah. All right, and kind of like the final game for this was kind of took the world by storm, and shocked a lot of people, and a game that I guess has a quite a large niche cult or following to it,
Yeah.
a lot larger.
I had no idea what this was at all. I'm like watching this, and I was like, do they talk like in the 3DS version with the actual like text to speech kind of vibe to it too? I don't know why. I feel like it's like you can make so much more comedy with the like text to speech.
Yes,
you know?
yes, yes.
I don't know why. It's just like when you hear those like computers struggle to say words, person could, you know?
Yeah, it's funny, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm curious to go check out if I could find this and go pay for it. Probably I did a little eBay searching, and like yesterday, someone was trying to sell for like 300 or 400 bucks. thanks to our friend Mr. Gene Park was showing people. I double checked today, and it seems like now it's settled at like 150, $100 now
Well,
because more people are putting their games up there. Very expensive, and also I looked up Groove Heaven as well.
Rhythm Heaven
Uh,
Groove, yeah.
yeah, and it was settling at like $70 USD now.
Oh wow, yeah. Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I did see a Canadian copy go for like $50 I could get right now. Thank God for the weak Canadian dollar.
So the long story short for this type of game, it's just like a goofy kind of like play with your Mii's type of game. And they have like some like goofy aspects to it as you see here.
Yeah.
Obviously with the text to speech type of like dialogue that's happening. There's a lot of like mini games and whatnot, but you're kind of it's like I would say it's kind of like Sims, but like really trimmed down. I think. Um, Now you and I were sidebarring about this, and I only knew about it because I remember seeing it everywhere. Because I was a big 3DS guy. I think you were too,
Yeah.
but like I remember just seeing it everywhere during the 3DS time, and so I just never like cared to get it. But I do remember like just seeing like the popularity of it, and I do see it out here quite a bit, like on shelves and whatnot. But um, I I'll be honest, I didn't know it was like super super big. My wife recognized it. She's like, yeah, this is like really popular as well. But like back in the day, so I guess maybe in Japan it was just much bigger, and then of course in North America it had like a large niche following to it. Um,
It felt like kind of like what I said. It felt like a woman game,
yeah, yeah, of course, yeah.
and of course it's like of course your wife is the one that recognizes, and a lot of people that I saw online talking about this either were like real hardcore gamers who like Gene Park, who like you could tell like he likes all that stuff, or it was like mostly just women out there who's like
Yes.
having a fun time with it. Like they were like I saw like a joke. I guess like there was the whole like, well, I guess I can finally retire my summoning because now I got my game, you know.
That's funny. That's
And
funny.
and I was just like kind of laughing there too. I didn't realize that there was like this big audience for it. Like I was finding things like some people were making like smiling friend parodies of this. Like they actually like there's this really good like smiling friend parody of like, "Hey, look, Charlie, you got married to club," and like focused around this game, and like people were like making like these videos of like this, and like they had the funny text to speech, and they're like, "Yay, this will cure my depression," you know,
That's
and,
great.
and I was just like, that's like the one thing I love like being a gamer is like finding like these weirdos that come crawling out of the rockwork like Gollum, be like, "It's time," you know.
Yes, my time to shine has come.
And I'm just like finding all the memes. It's like I'm generally curious to kind of check this out now, like uh if I could find it for maybe $100 less. It's getting into that crazy territory, but it's just like that's like the best thing about uh these directs or something like that is when you see an IP get like a little shock for like satisfying a crazy audience for like another 10 years before it goes dormant and you never hear about it again.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Like it
Metopia was announced and given out recently, as well as the Endless Ocean game too.
yeah, I have that Metopia one, the Switch. I know it came out for the 3DS as well.
Yes.
It's been on the to-do list of games I need to play as well. But like yeah, it's just very fun to see like when gamers are happy and they
Yes.
come out and you see all the memes and all the joy and you get like it reminds me of like Christmas Day when you're a kid again. It's
Yes.
like everyone's happy, you're all kind of getting a little high on your own high, as they say, and yeah, like I said, like this is interesting to me, and I kind of want to force my wife to play this game too, just to see if I like it, because if I watch her play it and I kind of like can go like maybe I'll get a second copy for myself or something like that. But I also find it kind of sad though because this is 2026, So we gotta wait quite a long time before we even
Yeah.
get this game.
I mean, that's kind of good considering what we're gonna get into next with the releases, the bigger hits that are coming out soon. But yeah, it is like we do gotta wait a minute for this, but it'll give them time to cook with it and let us know what they'll do with this. Because I'm pretty sure this is a new game. It's not like a remake. I think this might be a new game. Um,
I believe it is a new game. Yeah.
yeah. Real quickly, I want to say hello to my fellow Nintendo brother, Extra Zero. What's up, man? Thanks for coming on
Hello,
by.
Zero.
Yeah, so he's saying it's always funny to me when Nintendo has a game that's semi niche and doesn't appeal to to the hardcore, and yet people will get upset. Yeah, just like you were saying earlier, Carl. But and
Yeah, it's like have fun. If you're a hardcore gamer, then every game should like appease you at some point.
yeah, and that's what I really enjoyed about this direct is that as soon as it was over, I went on Twitter and I just saw like a lot of people happy for like all kinds of like games that were announced. Like it's like everyone won in a way, or everyone except for the complainers, but everyone won, and it was really cool to see that. Even though this direct wasn't like anything impressive other than like a couple well, impressive for the hardcore like main IP type people. So yeah. Anyways, it was cool. I really liked the positivity afterwards. So
It's enjoyable. This is what gaming should be about. Is if you enjoy games, you should be excited to see a franchise that's been like dead come back in some way, shape, or form to see what it is. Because how many people go like, "Oh, Microsoft's IP graveyard. Oh, Sony's IP graveyard, and even Nintendo's IP graveyard." You know?
yeah, yeah, man. It's yeah. Without really anything else to add to that, the last thing we'll talk about, just real quickly, is well, of course, Nintendo is getting into the app game, so they've decided to make another app, which I don't think I'm gonna get this one, but it's called Nintendo Today, and it basically gives you like a every day there's like this kind of like a Nintendo, um, well, this like history of Nintendo is basically in this app. And there's a lot
Yeah.
of interesting stuff, and I saw a lot of people online like kind of like overreacting, like, oh, now Xenoblade has been or the Xenoblade series has been recognized as a main Nintendo IP, and it's just like I'm just looking at them with like kind of like that bruh look face, like, okay, you're being a bit over dramatic. Like they've always viewed Xenoblade since 2 at least as a main Nintendo IP. Like why else would they allow a third one to be made or published? I just
They
thought that was a bit.
ported the original like 3 times now.
Exactly,
you
yeah. And
know?
I just thought it was like a bit like overblown. And then same with like I think Fire Emblem, people were like freaking out about like Fire Emblem being shown. But here's the thing. On the Nintendo Japan's website, there's a whole section for Fire Emblem, like as far as like a Wikipedia of sorts for Fire Emblem. And so
Ah,
it's recognized. It's just like in the West, like people, I
I,
don't know. It's like
yeah,
yeah.
I was gonna say that. I was just for fairness, like these games get more recognition in Japan, and it makes sense because a lot of games are still exclusive to Japan. From
Yes.
the Nintendo aspect for some of these IPs. Oh, I didn't even see that trailer on the web. I actually pre-ordered this game.
Yeah, this was on the Japanese sites. Gundam Seed Battle Destiny Remaster. Yeah.
Yeah, good old Vita game that's getting another crack at life.
And here's Ys 5, by the way, Celcita. So it's towards the end here, yeah. I'll continue, my friend. Oh,
But like,
Onimusha 2, my bad. Onimusha 2, yeah.
this
Yeah.
game has been showed off so much. I am so physically upset that we have not gotten news that it's getting a physical release,
Yes.
which makes me very upset. But it comes out a day after my birthday, May 23rd. So can't wait to play that. I gotta say this, low key, like around my birthday time, like May has become like a hotbed of just like really good video game releases.
Yes, yep.
Like because Paper Mario and Hellblade came out like the 21st and the 23rd
Yeah.
last year. Like I was like, oh boy, the day before and the day after my birthday. Whatever shall I do? And both those games are great. I look forward to it. I always get excited, and especially this year because my birthday falls on a Thursday, so there's a couple games coming out that day. But it also here in the States, it falls on Memorial Day weekend, so I got a nice Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So I got any vacation
A
left.
good schedule to do that. That's awesome.
Yeah, but enough about me blabbling on like a hen.
uh, to address what Zero said, people got upset that Namco, excuse me, Bandai Namco. I don't know why you have that backwards. Dug into Sony's graveyard. Um, I didn't see that online, but it wouldn't surprise me considering that like
Sony ponies are insane.
yeah,
I
yeah,
saw like people writing manifestos, like they were about to commit a crime, talking about how this is not a big deal and Sony is still awesome and crazy. Uh, I still say this, like Xbox have kind of just like given up and they're like, we're just here to play games now. It feels like they kind of just are now more so like doing the I would say like the recovering addict that still has an addict friend.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's like, hey man, how you doing? It's like, are you ready to get over it yet? And then there's like Nintendo fans. Like people say Nintendo fans are like also insane. I just don't see it. Like I never see like there's one crazy Nintendo fan out of like thousands, you know? So I feel like that's like kind of I feel like just Sony fans are like the people who are just been like coping and seething and going insane just over anything. And I feel like um, we've seen games like another one that we could bring up too, which is giving another chance at life is Freedom Wars,
Yes, Freedom
which was
Wars. Yep.
that was released in January, and that was also that's another Sony funded IP, Japan Studios, and they're licensing it out to be made by Bandai Namco. And you see it with Patapon, you see it now with Hot Shots Golf, and like Zero here says, they forgot in the PS2 era, Ubisoft put out Ape Escape 3. I feel like Ape Escape is going to be coming around to that same point as well. I feel like we're going to see Parappa the Rappa. I feel like we could see Loco Roco and a lot of these Japan studio IP get another life,
Yeah.
and I feel like what we're seeing here is just an evolution of gaming of, you know, Sony constantly doing the whole remakes and remasters kind of thing, but instead they're just licensing it out to another, third party company just to do it.
Yeah, I I don't understand like this direct like everyone won in a way and it's like it was really cool to see all these like games come back and we've lost that kind of magic now with gaming. It's like people just have to find things to complain about instead of appreciate stuff. And cuz at the end of the day, you don't have to buy any of these games. Like you're entitled like you have the right to like not buy any of these games and just not enjoy them. So why
Right.
rain on other people's parades, especially if they want to spend their own hard-earned money on these games. So,
It's the gamer's paradox. Like I keep telling them,
yeah.
it's like gamers want everything to be brought back. They want every gamer to experience peak, as they would say, quote unquote.
And everyone's
But
peak is
then,
different, by the way.
but then at the same time, it's like, oh, like we see it from some people. It's like they rather watch like the game industry burn, and then they can just like go like, haha, I was right. Everything is terrible, and I just could sit here and emulate, the old games I used to play and everything else. You know, it's it's just it's just gonna be sometimes a drag, I guess you could say, to just
Yes.
be like it's never good to be overly maniacal about it. Like everything is like got to be like great, awesome, and perfect, and hyped, and don't ask questions, just consume. Like it's not good to be a shill,
Yes.
but there is a thing where it's like nobody also wants to basically be Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh 24/7. It's just
Yes.
like you got to have that right balance. You got to be able to judge something for what it is. I feel like we've talked about this before many times, but like when you look at something, say for example, like the discourse around the Final Fantasy VII remake,
Yes.
and we sit there and we have like the arguments of the people going like, well, Square Enix, they're stooping you because like they go out of their way to break up the game in three parts and back in the day it was all on one disc and everything, or not on one disc but all in one game.
Yes.
That's that's what it is. And then like it's like, yeah, I can understand this argument if like I didn't play the game and I just allowed, my I want to be nice about this, but when I say like my ignorance, like take over for my opinion.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
And it's like I kind of was in that camp a little bit, and then I played the games, and then I'm like, it makes sense what they're doing, but at the same time, it's like you can't have like that opinion, and you can't correct some of these people when they start going on this diatribe because then they get really upset at you for how dare you question me.
Yes.
So, like I said, it's the gamer's paradox where it's like, and it's like we talked about this briefly with Pokemon. It's like there comes that time where we want to correct the record, but then the counter argument they always throw back is like, "Why are you being a shill?" And it's like now gaming discourse is just falling apart because it's like we're not having a conversation anymore about like the art or the thing itself. It's now you're basically accusing me of carrying water for a multi-billion-dollar company because I quote unquote am a shill, and it's just like it's terrible that we've reached that point. Some people where that is their go-to argument, where they just want to be upset, they just want to be mad, and if you try to be like, "Hey, man, you shouldn't be so," because it's not, this, not anything to be level 10 about, and then they go like, "Well, I'm still at level 10, and you're just, carrying water," and it's like, well, now we can't have a conversation. It's like
Yeah.
now we're not conversation about games with you. It's like, what's the point of even? Do you even like games after a certain point in time? And then it's just like it gets into whole other weeds that are not necessary for the thing. But like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. That's what I like sitting around and talking to like people like you or Extra Zero or even Pop Culture Mechanic, like just talking about like games and just having fun, talking about old games, new games, like what made this game fun, recommending games. Like I'm very glad that both you and Zero recommended Plucky Squire because I've been having fun playing that game, and I'm going to find a way to get our Chicago friend Nerporeal Lifeform to play it because he needs to play more video games and instead of doing nothing. So yeah, so it's just that's what we got to bring back or not bring back. We got to like really enforce is like you got to really enjoy talking video games with people. But uh I wanted to finish the stream with basically kind of like overall thoughts, and then I want to get into Switch 2 predictions as far as like release schedule for these games that were shown today, or not today, in this direct, as well as Switch 2 release game release schedules. So, um,
Let's do it.
what do you think about overall this direct? For me, I thought it was decent. It wasn't there to try to impress anybody per se because it's the end of the Nintendo Switch's life, so they don't really need to like go out with a massive bang. But seeing some of these games, obviously like these PlayStation IPs getting kind of rejuvenated, Metroid Prime gameplay, or excuse me, Metroid Prime 4 gameplay, which was fantastic to see that. Obviously, on the Japanese side, we saw like some Onimusha 2 confirmation for the Switch, as well as Yeast 5, the Super Robot Wars, that Tecmo or that
Collection.
collection, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so to me, it wasn't like high marks, but it was like very satisfying. Like I actually enjoyed it. It wasn't one of their worst directs ever for me.
Can I want to ask something. I would love to do this more with you in the future, only because I would like to incorporate the Japanese side of it onto it as well.
Okay.
And because like you're living in Japan, and you're in the culture, I would love to hear more about this too because I think it's just fascinating because there was a lot of games in the Japanese direct that even I didn't you know that have been mentioned before, but it's nice to see them again too. Like that 100 yards kind of game
Yes.
that's made by the Danganronpa devs. Like I'm interested in that one. That wasn't showed off here, but it was showed off again in the Japanese one, and it looked to be like there was some information that they shared in that one too. So
Yeah.
uh, maybe in the future, like I said, definitely would love to do it again.
You know,
But on top of that,
mm,
gone.
I was gonna say
Finish your point.
I wouldn't mind doing that. It would force me to like really analyze the Japanese side of the videos more. So yeah, we can definitely look into that.
Yeah, because I would love that. Like I said, I saw Super Dodgeball. What the heck? That game's great. And I like blew my mind. I was like, wait a minute, you guys are getting a Super Dodgeball like crazy collection
And
going
then
on over here?
meanwhile, in the North America, we're getting the Disney Villains Cafe game.
Yeah, game for my wife. Get out of here. I also I think it was also because they were launching it that day. It said in the trailer, so
Yes, yeah, yeah, it was, yeah.
that's also why. But neither here nor there. But like overall, like I like this direct only because it gave me some confirmation about some stuff. It was nice to see that we're getting Dragon Quest 1 2 this year. I can't wait to pick that up and not play it for another 7 because that's how it usually
Yeah,
goes.
exactly.
Um, I'm happy that those you know uh Devil Summoners games kind of just got like confirmed because I know that those got leaked a while back.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So I can't wait to sit down and actually get that on my Xbox and just sit down and play it. And it's not a full price game too. I think it's only like $50 as well.
Oh wow. Okay, that's not good. That's not bad then.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Like I said, the more people that can play a lot of these obscure, fun Atlas games that I know sometimes people aren't a fan of Persona because high school girls and guys and all the school life stuff. So like, it is good to see a lot of these more darker, more mature themed stories get out there because I can agree sometimes as I'm getting older, it's not like as fun to play as like the teenagers anymore. But
Yep.
um, it is nice to see like Atlas is not only bringing back a lot of these dormant old IP, but they're bringing them to Switch, they're bringing them to PC, they're bringing them to Xbox, and I think that's great. That's when gamers have access to a game and they can play it. I'm a huge advocate for that. Um,
Gamers are winning if that's the
yeah,
case.
yes, like the companies are benefiting from giving a game to everyone, and we all win at the end of the day. They get their money, we get our games. We can kind of continue to coexist because that's all we really do with some of these companies is
Coexist.
coexist.
That sounds so terrible when you put it like that.
I know. Well, it's true for some companies, you know.
Yeah.
We're just coexisting. We're happy that we're not at war with each other. But I'm happy to see more and Metroid. Like I said, I'm happy for the Metroid Bros. I haven't played them. I'm not going to say anything about that because I don't like to comment on franchises that I'm not too familiar with. But I'm just happy that I know a lot of my friends love Metroid. So it's good to see that. And I'm happy about Patapon. Go play Patapon. Have you never played Patapon? Please go play Patapon. I'm begging everyone, when you get a chance, check these games out. They're fun, they're wacky, they're insane. They're the perfect encapsulation of Japanese culture, done up in like these over the top crazy ways. I just love it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to having a couple game nights with everybody's golf and of course this Marvel Invasions game, you know?
Yeah, the Patapon. We definitely should encourage people to play that because if they see that this game is pretty popular, then we can probably get Local Roco on the Switch as well, and that'd be really cool to get a game like that. And yeah, it would. I like to see more of these classic games that are stranded on the Vita or PSP or whatever, come back to modern times. So,
Yeah,
um,
exactly. These are everyone like tells you all the time they hate how like safe AAA gaming can be. But at the same time, if you want more unique and interesting games to come out and be played, you gotta leave your comfort zone and you gotta try playing some of these games.
yes.
You know, like you want the game industry to be healthy, you gotta put your money where your mouth is, and you gotta support the smaller projects. There's a reason why Hi-Fi Rush, a game I truly do love and enjoy, Microsoft spun off and basically almost let that IP die because it did not sell when it got a chance to go to, say, for example, PlayStation. You know, it's the catch 22 about gaming. You gotta put your money where your mouth is. Sometimes you gotta support the smaller projects just as much as you gotta like. You can't just praise them all. You can't just go pirate them all. You need to actually put some skin in the game here, and you know, talk to people about it. Recommend these games to people. Push these games. You don't need to make like 7,000 videos saying about the new AAA game you don't like. You need to also balance that out and make 7,000 videos of all the smaller games that you do like.
In autistic detail too.
Yes, exactly. You need a 7-hour breakdown on the lore of Patapon to be a true fan.
Yes, yes. Even though the game could probably be beaten in like 3 hours. I
Yes,
don't.
the lore video is longer than the entire
Yeah,
the
the
entire
playthrough.
franchise.
Yeah. So for me, other than like what I said earlier, it was great. I like to just see that we got all this interesting stuff that new or not new IPs, but IPs for me to try out and for other people to try out. I agree. I'm looking forward to game night with everybody's golf. That's gonna be fantastic to play that as well as the Marvel Invasion game. So. Yeah, so we'll close out the stream with basically Switch 2 prediction as far as obviously we know next week they're gonna do the tech reveal for it, and that's gonna be really interesting to see what's they're gonna talk about. I hope there's more than I go in with low expectations, so I hope to kind of get blown away. But for me, I just care about the performance boost, and I know you do as well. Um,
Yep.
as far as
Yep.
games go, my I'll give my prediction. So I'm thinking that they're gonna launch with this new Mario Kart game that they basically teased in that trailer. That's gonna be their launch game, is Mario Kart 9, for lack of better like titles. Um, and then what we got is so we got Metroid and we got Pokemon. Now you told me Pokemon was accidentally leaked for a fall release, correct? So that would be what,
And
October, November, or September to November?
it said autumn in the original Japanese Pokemon Day trailer. That's what it said, autumn.
I'll go look at it right
So
now.
yeah, so that's what I said. I don't know if they kept it up or if they took it down and replaced it. Because sometimes, it's been talked about like that. Like Best Buy Canada said that after the basically direct, you could go and pre-order the Nintendo Switch 2 that day, and they had to take that down.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, that's not shocking then, 'cause that does sound about right. And with like Zero saying that he thinks from what he's heard that the Switch 2 is coming in June. We've seen days from May 15th to May 22nd for Nintendo Switch 2 is like
Yes.
rumored. So it feels like we're getting really close uh, to some more Nintendo uh, actually telling us like here's when it's coming out. I can't wait to hear the price point because I think that's the bigger thing for me. I
Yeah.
want to know how much this is going to cost.
So, okay, let's just say that Pokemon comes out in fall, so it would be anywhere between, I'm going to be gracious, September to November. I think then Metroid Prime 4, I don't think they're going to throw it at the end of the year. I think they're going to put it before Pokemon, so it'll probably be like anywhere between July to September. So, I think we'll get it much sooner than later. Um,
Yeah.
so what I'm saying is like it's gonna be Mario Kart 9, then Metroid, and then Pokemon, and then I think we'll probably get like new Zelda or new Mario game like next year, 2026. I don't know what you think about that, but um, yeah,
I feel like they got like a surprise game that they're gonna announce as a
announce,
launch
yeah,
title. I feel like they're holding something in the pocket. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if they just said Metroid Prime 4 is a launch title for the Switch 2.
I would love that. Yeah, I would love it as a
Yeah.
launch title. I just don't. I always worry about Nintendo doubting their Metroid fan base and like launching it as or setting it as a launch title. That's just me. But I would love to get that expectation knocked down.
Yeah, I feel like another thing too is like it doesn't. I think Dread was like their best performing Metroid game in like quite some time too, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
Like I forget. I just remember Kotaku had to take down their article about how to pirate it. Did
Oh
you
my
remember that?
goodness. Yeah, I remember that. Sheesh.
I
Yeah.
was like, oh my goodness, why are you guys doing this? And you wonder why Nintendo's so
Y-
happy with emulation.
yes.
Um,
Yeah. Wait.
for launch titles, I don't know. I feel like everything's just gonna be basically what we've already heard. I feel like they're going to show off like a native version of like one of the Breath of the Wild games.
Yes.
I feel like they could just do that and just charge their pay pig audience like hey guys, you want to play Breath of the Wild and updated graphics and 60 FPS? And I'll be like, well, yeah, I would. So,
I don't think they're gonna
uh,
sell it as a separate game. If they do that, that's like I would have to say that's not good. Like I will not bend the knee to that. I'll be like, come on, guys, that's a bit scummy. But I don't think they'll do that, man.
if
There has to be a creative way you can upscale the game with like the PlayStation 4 to PS4 Pro type of like system.
yeah, I feel like that would be in a perfect world. Everything would be like smart delivery by Xbox. We don't live in a perfect world, and I feel like they could try to justify it by saying like, here, look, it's a $40 game, and it comes with all the DLC from the original, all on one cart, and doing stuff like that with like upscaling and everything else for people who may not have bought the original or who may not have bought the DLC or something.
Okay.
I could see Nintendo doing some. Nintendo just doesn't make sense sometimes. I feel like their whole thing is like, so you're not a football fan, but there's like this big joke with the it's called the Wheel of Punishment, where it's like you could like one day commit domestic violence and like you only get like a 1 game suspension, but if you like partake in the devil's lettuce, you'll go and get like a whole season off, and it doesn't make sense. And that's like Nintendo with their pricing. It's like some games are uh like really well priced, really progressively forward in the remake value that you're paying for. And other ones you're like, well, why is this one like $60? Like Donkey Kong, HD.
Yeah.
It's like, why is that one $60, but Pikmin is $40 and you get 2 games, and life doesn't make sense. It's just that
Yes.
it all depends on what they spun on that wheel at Nintendo HQ.
That's very true. I like that analogy. That's very true.
Yeah.
Um,
So
yeah.
that's just my opinion so far. Obviously, we saw Mario Kart kind of revealed, so I am interested. I think that is a really good way to sell your system right away, is to have a party game like that.
Yes.
Be- we'll see how that plays out, Cotton.
Bold move,
But
God. Speaking of dodgeball.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So, overall, like I said, I agree with you. There's like the only thing I want to know about is the Switch 2 going to make my Switch 1 games perform at a higher frame rate? Like
Yeah.
I if I will swallow my pride and I will pay an extra $10 just to have like an upgrade system if I must, but I will not pay a crazy amount of money for that. If they do it for free, that will be better. And I feel like some of the games that we've seen with both the Series X and the PS5, where even the games that don't have smart delivery or FPS boost, some of those games just naturally perform better because of the hardware.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to see some of that just naturally happen with a Switch 2 if that does happen. So I'm interested to see Digital Foundry's breakdown of like a base Switch game and say, for example, a cross-gen title, and so on and so forth. So it's more in the nuts and bolts that I'm very interested in, and the price.
Yeah, I don't know what to really say because you basically said everything that I'm looking forward to, and um, yeah, performance and obviously the Mario Kart 9. When it comes to Mario Kart, I'm an autistic child. I love Mario Kart, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the new one and like what is the new gimmick and whatnot. But
Yeah.
yeah, Prime 4, Mario Kart 9 as a launch title would be two great games: a single player game and a family game, and then whatever releases they do after that. But we'll see. And next week, obviously, next Thursday for me, I think it is. So, if you want to do another stream like this for the aftermath, um, I'm down to do that if you got time. Um,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
or another channel too, because I know if they post tech specs, then I hope our buddy Extra Zero goes into full autistic mode with the tech specs, because I'm very curious to know actual tech specs about the console if they do that. I don't know if they will, but
They have to. They at this point. There's no reason to hide it. If you're gonna show the console and every the software and everything else like that, let's just get it on, man. All right.
yeah.
It's just like you're married at this point. It's time to get a little biblical, all right?
Okay. All right. Well, on that note, thanks for coming, man. Appreciate you taking time on your early Saturday morning to avoid a oil change, as you mentioned in the beginning, and to do this with me. But, yeah. Oh, by the way, what's up, Shield Wall? Thanks for coming, man. Sorry if I didn't say hi to you earlier. Appreciate you coming on by, man. Yeah, man. So what do you got coming down the pipeline with the RNG Gaming podcast channel?
Well, as everyone know, I had something come up last night, so I had to reschedule Mr. Jono to the April 11th, which will be a Friday. As far as show wise, I believe I will have Friday next Friday. I will have my co-host on Party Chat, Mr. Ryan. He's going to be on and talk about his career in that. And Saturday, tentatively speaking, I still gotta hammer out some finer details with this guest, but it looks like I'll have maybe someone on to talk sumo wrestling, and of course video games and other things too. But besides that, that's really all I got planned for these next few weeks. Everything is kind of also a little hinging on how my mom's cancer treatment's going to go. We got some positive news about that, so I'll say that much. Like, she doesn't have a scary form of cancer, but she starts her super chemotherapy, as I like to call it, next Friday. So, depending on that, I might have to postpone some shows just because I got to take her to the city of Chicago to get those treatments.
You gotta, you gotta. It's like going through a war zone to get down there, right?
It's more so like she's in like obviously the more yuppie area because that's where all the colleges and cancer treatment stuff
All
is.
right.
But it's just the traffic in Chicago during rush hour is insane.
Yeah.
Like I've said this before. One time it took us 2 hours to travel like 10 miles.
Oh, sheesh.
Yeah, because that's how bad traffic can be. So I'm a little worried about that, especially because it'll be on a Friday and Monday and Tuesday. So obviously during work hours, we have to get her there by like 7 a.m.
Oh
So
my
I'm
goodness.
yeah. So like I said, I don't know what's going on yet. Hopefully, I don't have to really worry too much about that. If I have to do it, it's just personal stuff. My stepdad, he has to work in order to get their insurance for the year, so he cannot miss any time. Otherwise, my mom can't have cancer.
Treatment, yeah.
basically. So like everyone's got to step up. Everyone knows if you ever had a family member, they don't have cancer, it's your duty to step up to make sure that you do your job as a family.
Yep. Well, I'm glad to
So,
hear that there's some progress in the right direction. So that's really good to hear, man.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Shield's very familiar with Vex Electronica, our favorite lady of the night.
Hey, what you? That is a bad term for.
I know, but she'll take it. I know she will because she's funny like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
she is. She's a funny lady.
she's a sweetheart.
Yes, I know. We love her dearly for in this little slice of weird, awkward people online.
All right, man. Yeah. So next week, make sure you sub and check him out. Like I told you, Shield Wall, and those who are listening on the replay, great gaming podcast coming from RNG Gaming Podcast. Always having interesting guests on, a lot of repeat guests as well. But most of the time, they do definitely do a good job talking about video games and just the love and passion for video games. Sometimes it divulges into other conversations like sports or politics or whatever, but mostly it's gaming, and I really enjoy that. So, um, but for me, I just got done streaming, doing two streams this weekend. So I finished Dino Crisis for the first time, and that was a fantastic game to finally get around to playing. And I'm looking forward to playing number two, as well as a fan made like remake of the original game. I'm not sure like when I'll do the remake, but I think next weekend I will start on number two, because I was just looking at my schedule, and I think next weekend I'll be able to stream that game. I don't have a consistent streaming schedule, so just follow me on Twitter, on YouTube. You'll see when I post like the streaming links or whatever, and you can set the bell to be reminded when I'll be streaming. But as far as like every once in a while, you might see me stream at nighttime while I play some JRPG games. Because right now, me and my buddy Carl here, as well as Nerdy Neo, are doing a gaming challenge for this year, and so I got a lot of like games I gotta try to get ahead of these guys with, but they're all like RPG games, so they take time. So, um, and I'm not trying to like rush through them too. I'm trying to enjoy them. So, yeah, just trying to grind out levels and explore the world. So I did Atelier Yumiya as well as Xenoblade Chronicles XDE for 2 nights ago. So it would have been let's see, Friday morning for you guys. Friday night for me, Friday
Yes.
morning for you guys. So that was fun.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, I appreciate everybody coming on by. I appreciate you hanging out with me, and I like doing these like Nintendo Direct talks. I like talking Nintendo, so. But hopefully next time, yeah, we'll do the one with Japanese as well. We can break down the Japanese reveals as well, and see how the culture is with the Japanese side of gaming. But until next time, appreciate you guys coming on by. I'm gonna close this out with the opening video because I like the Smash 4 like intro, I guess. So peace out, everybody. Have a good rest of your weekend.
Yes.